Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Adventures with Peps. We are painting another Judge Dredd model, this time armed with the official Cult M2000 Widowmaker. This is going to be Judge Harlan now. He is one of many now of the Justice Department. I seem to be getting a real collection. I got to work on the website page and get these guys all uploaded so you can go check that out. If you haven't gone, go check out my website, adventureswithpeps.com. Very simple to find. Full of comic reviews, book reviews, Judge Dredd stuff, all the fun stuff that I love, and hopefully you'll enjoy too. But as you can see, I am dry brushing this model, simple black prime. I'm using the pallid witch flesh to give it a nice little highlight so the contrasts will pop on it, and then we will get into painting. It is great sculpt. By the end of the video, I will have cut off the little chunk that's on the top of his helmet. I do leave it on until the very end. It's there. Live with it. It will be gone by the end. So, we get that on. Nice and simple. I'm quite enjoying this new camera angle. It's not quite right, but I'm getting there, which is always nice to see. Every video I get a little bit better, a little bit more confident with what I'm doing. So yeah, this is gotta be my, trying to think, 7th judge, 8th judge, maybe even my 9th judge on the channel. I really have a Justice team up and running. Right, grab the Gravelord Grey. This is gonna go on the base and the concrete column that he has stood on. Nice and simple, and while we're doing that, we'll talk about his weapon. So it's the Colt M2000 Widowmaker, introduced in 2214 to replace the Warlord rifle. The M2000 Widowmaker is designed to give judges effective firepower when dealing with large hostile crowds or mobs. Essentially, it combines a rapid-fire spit gun with executioner rounds and then a pump-action launcher capable of firing standard frag and stun grenades. It's a beast of a weapon. It is a two-handed weapon. Short range of 12 inches, plus 3 to hit at short range. Long range, it's got a decent 24-inch range, power free. It can use special rounds like all the Justice weapons. But it then has, for the special rounds, it can do either executioner rounds, which are brutal, or the stun gas and frag grenade options. So stun gas is 6-inch range, 0 modifier, long range 18-inch, -1, power free, aimed fire only, blast 4-inch gas that causes stun. The frag, similar stat line, but power 4, aimed fire only, blast 3, so a lot more powerful. Let me just stop for a minute and say I'm using the cloud blue for his bodysuit. That's quite a large chunk of the model, so we've got plenty of time to chat. It's a brutal weapon. So you got the executioner rounds, which let you shoot up to 24 inches, power free. Good for like popping off a single model. Highly recommend that version. But if you're going up against the crowd, you can just drop that stun gas grenade in at 6-inch range. It's going to blast, cause gas and explode and knock out people. Or if you're really aggressive, you can use the frag and just try and blow up everyone. I feel like the judges should be using the stun gas rounds more than the frag, but you never know in Mega City 1. It's just a brutal weapon. It's expensive though. Like, I think it comes in at 6 points. Let me just double check that. La da da, la da da da. I closed the book like a fool. So enjoy me la-di-da while I look up what I'm doing. I'm at the bike. Here we go. Here we go. So +6 notoriety. So this character, in my mind, he's going to be a normal street judge. So he's 18 plus 6. So he comes in at 24 points with that weapon. He also obviously has his lawgiver pistol, daystick, and his boot knife as a last resort. But this guy can be pretty brutal. I think he's going to be part of my riot squad. We've got I've pretty much got 5 models that I feel could be riot judges. Actually, I got more than that now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I got a lot more. We're going to have to do a riot squad. I think I could do that. It's going to be expensive because I'd want to give them the H-Wagon as like their transport / backup. The heavy duty mob or something that comes in. That'd be quite a fun game actually. The riot mob comes in with the H-Wagon, has to take on a block gang and rioting citizens. Ooh, I'm getting ideas for a game. Watch this space. Right, looking at this, I think we are done with the bodysuit. Let's do a quick overview of how he looks. Now, putting this model together, he was one of the hardest. The arms glue quite difficult. I can't talk. What is wrong with me? I have not been touching the Christmas punch yet. That comes later. But yeah, the arms, I struggled to glue them. The super glue made it a little bit hard. As you can see, there is a slight gap near the elbow on his left arm. It's not the end of the world, just annoys me a little bit. We then grab the magic blue for a very quick step. I'm going to be using this on his visors. So I got a very sharp point on my brush. I'm just going to try and follow the curve and the lines that are there. Just fill in that space, get a little bit near his nose. I'm just going to blob it in, try not to make a mess. And there we go. Now, because I have painted so many of these judges now, I know what I'm doing. I got my colour scheme down. I think I knocked this model out in about 15 minutes, which obviously you could spend longer on them. I only slap on contrast and speed paints, like this blood red that is also going on the helmet. But it's perfect for me. I like tabletop ready. They look fine from when playing from a distance. Slowly but surely I will add highlights to everyone and upgrade characters as I play more with them. But for now, I don't need to get crazy. I just want paint on models. I want models that I can play a game with and not feel bad that they are grey or what have you. So just carefully going around the blue. I don't want it to bleed into that quite fresh magic blue we just put in. Because red and blue would make a lovely purple colour, and that is not going to work for a judge's visor. As you can see, I am using my half-decent Games Workshop layer brush that still has a point. I find it just helps with these straight lines. And then I'll have to touch up the front of the visor, because when I do the flesh later, I'm definitely going to see some white, but I wasn't sure where the flesh ends. So I wanted to get that done first, because it's easier to paint over the flesh colour than it would be to paint over the red. So I'm just getting all these colours laid in. Just round the rim. I could never remember if the red goes all the way around or not. I'm assuming yes. So that's what we're going with. Obviously, if I'm wrong, drop me a comment. I probably am, now that I'm thinking about it. But I also like the way it looks, so we'll go with it. We'll go with it. There we go. As you can see, I left the bit near his face still white. I'm going to get the flesh wash in first and then worry about the red after that. Then grab the Grim Black. Nice easy step. We're going to use it on the helmet and his gun. Starting with the gun, just nice smooth coat. Try and go in the same direction as much as possible. Now, I think in an earlier video, the rad waist judge, the one with the cloak, I couldn't tell what gun he had, so I just assumed it was this gun. But now I'm looking at this gun, I realise they don't look anything the same, which is really annoying because it also doesn't look like the long range gun that you can have. So it's obviously a different type of gun altogether, and we just don't have rules for it. One of my followers, sorry I can't remember your name off the top of my head right now, said it was the Arbeiter shotgun, which makes a lot of sense because it does look like a shotgun. But I cannot find rules for it anywhere, which is a little annoying / disappointing, because it seems to fill a role that the judges don't have. This gun, it's got the short range grenade launcher, but otherwise it's got a long range spit gun. The other one is the long range, basically long range lawgiver. So a very short range shotgun would have been pretty cool to have. But I guess it gives me the freedom to just pick and choose what that model is armed with. But yeah, so I am very close to having the Justice Department page up and running soon. I am wondering where this model is going to fit in. I am calling him Harlon Nail after the Eisenhorn character. He was a bounty hunter in that book. Obviously, a bounty hunter judge doesn't exist. So I need to work out what department he's going to be in. I am heavily lacking street judges. I have a lot of the specialists painted, and I have obviously a lot of riot judges on their way. So I think this guy is actually going to fall into the street judges, but maybe he's had some training with the riot team. Look at that. He is looking great. I got 2 colours left to go. And that is going to be green and yellow. I think we are almost got a completed model. Right, up next is his skin. I'm using dark wood. It's not the perfect skin tone, but it's going to work. It's just his chin that we're going after, and when I've got this down, I'll be able to see where the remaining red needs to go. So let's just get that down. Nice and simple. Nice, quick, easy step. I then reactivate the red and clean that up on the inside of the helmet. Camera decided to not focus on anything whatsoever, which is always nice. Nice blurry shot for you. This is the stuff that you want to like, comment, and subscribe to. I know you love it, so enjoy. Up next is the orc skin. This is my go-to green. I think on the Anderson video, a commenter there suggested Absolution Green is also a good call. It really is. I think with the Army Painter speed paints, both greens work really well. Really comes down to preferences. I like this green because it's silly, bold and bright, and it really pops against the blue body armor. But I think if I was going to go a bit more realistic, the Absolution Green makes a lot more sense. It's got that darker warmth to it compared to this one. But yeah, look at it. It's just so bright and colourful. It makes me think of the comics when I see them. And they're just, it's comical. The judges, they're meant to stand out. They're covered in like tight bodysuit leather and bright green and yellow shoulder pads. If you saw them in real life, I'm not entirely sure you'd be scared of them. You'd probably be too busy laughing at them, which would then get you killed and then probably make you terrified of them. But I feel that's where my painting is going with some of these characters. I want them to be silly, bright and colourful. We are going to skip forward because it's just painting green. I'm running out of stuff to chat to you guys about. We're going to do his belt and his gloves and elbow pads as well. Now for my favourite part, I've grabbed the Zealot Yellow by the Army Painter. We are going to hit up this beastly shoulder pad, the crest on his helmet, the belt buckle, and obviously his badge and chain. I love using Zealot Yellow. It's so easy, like it just goes on very smooth. It always finds the deepest parts to go into. It just works for me. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and I fully appreciate that. But for me, this works, and I like the way it looks. The little helmet crest, being careful. The black, surprisingly, was still a little bit wet. Getting the chain. I'm not even trying to brush stroke it, I'm just dabbing it. I find, especially with the chain, because it's such a thin section, there's no point trying to wipe. You're better off dabbing. And then, as you could see with the eagle, I swipe down initially, because it just finds all those little holes perfectly. And then I go the opposite way in a second. Just being neat and tidy as much as I can, try and avoid any pooling. And then I try to swipe in different directions to make sure that the darker sections have enough paint in there to dry up on. And there you go. He's pretty much finished. I'll do the glamour shots, and I will catch you next week. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and cheers for watching. Bye-bye.